the tale of the two coasts, and then the center of the United States. The two coasts are definitely where people are trying to put their money. Pacific Northwest is a great spot to do it. There's a limited transactions. Absolutely, that money has to get placed out there somehow.
Good day, Industrial Advisors listeners, and thank you for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please do so by clicking subscribe wherever you podcast. Click the like button and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we put up new content. Leave us a comment about anything we discuss here today or general comments about the show. Now, let's get into it.
All right. Welcome to our Industrial Advisors podcast. Bill Condon and Matt McGregor. We have a great guest today, Travis Hale, who is one of the local partners at Panattoni. It's certainly no secret that Panattoni and Travis and team have been, one of the very most leaders in the market on the development side for some time now. And what I appreciate is you guys always seem to be kind of ahead of the curve and being willing to take that next step and go into that next market. And it's always worked out really well for you guys. But certainly development is a really hot topic right now. And having Travis on here is going to be great because it'll give us great insight to one of the most active developers in the country. So Travis, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Travis.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And thanks for the compliments. Hopefully we can keep it going.
Travis, you had a phenomenal 2022. Can you recap both Panattoni's development in 2022 and kind of the market in whole?
Yeah, it was an interesting year to say the least. We thought we were going to sell more than we did. We thought we'd maybe buy more than we did. It was a little bit of start-stop here and there. But all in all, we were very successful. Demand stayed strong, and so we luckily did leasing, so it filled up our buildings. We luckily found capital and equity, so we got financing and got equity to buy new assets. And so we kept the train rolling, but it certainly wasn't the numbers we thought we'd hit, but luckily we still had next to a record year, just because of all the hard work that we and our company did.
That's awesome.
Seemed like from a market perspective, there wasn't anything that we noticed that was left empty or didn't get built or anything like that. So despite some challenges, you guys seem to fill everything up and do well. Like I said, I didn't notice anything sitting on the vacancy report any longer than one would have expected.
Yeah, and we kind of joke that we have to actually go back and be developers again, and it's kind of fun because we actually have to. You take every bank meeting you can get, every equity or equity partner meeting you can get, and then you brokers, if there's a tenant in the market, you've got to hustle to get it done, and it's kind of fun. It wasn't. Not that the previous market wasn't great because it was kind of easier. This is back to real estate 101, development 101. You got to hustle, and those that hustle seems to be proven out well for us.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about so 2022. Obviously, Q3 hits and we start seeing some debt increases. How did the increases in debt change your guys' outlook on things and approach?
Well, it drastically affected our interest carry. So, projects that we were budgeting for debt, we put in the pro forma 3.5% or 4%, and we'd get a loan in the low threes, and that kind of worked well. And then all of a sudden, interest rates went up to 7.25. Is what we started budgeting for. So it made the performance more difficult. All in all, it feels like debt was landing in the mid fives to sixes for our projects, but the interest carry started, definitely taking note of it. Whereas before it really wasn't a budget line item that we cared much about. There was free money out there. Now there is not. So on that perspective, we had to really, or on that side of things, we had to really pull other levers to make the performance work. We were left with very few levers to make performance work here at the end. Land prices were falling. I was very nervous about getting our competition dropping a piece of property and then another person grabbing it for half the price. we are stuck with a basis that's above market. But land value, rent, and then construction costs. So we were left with very few levers to start pulling on.
Yep.
But luckily construction pricing is stabilizing. Rent kept going up. Thank you very much, brokers. In flat out, it has to go up. If the rent didn't go up, no one would have been able to complete their projects or build, because the numbers just weren't working.
That's right. You talked about financing and interest rates going up. We keep hearing that, spec financing is dried up, and you just keep hearing of different banks, shutting down the spec pipeline for financing. Yet Panattoni and others are still continuing to roll product out. And, arguably what you guys are doing in Frederickson, if that's still the plan, is one of the largest spec rollouts in a phase that we've ever seen. And so here we are talking about dried up spec financing, and Panattoni's rolling bigger than ever.
Yeah, it did become a challenge, and it is a challenge. You did hear all the rumors that majority of the banks are tapping out in the $40 million range of construction lending, and then the main five are tapping out at 75 million. So anything over 75 million, which Fred 310 certainly is over 75 million, it's almost $1 billion.
I was going to say, you're not even going to get the slabs down.
Yeah, you have to, we had to start almost syndicating or using multiple sources, which that in itself is a challenge. Getting your equity partner on board, yourself on board, and then try to get 3 lenders or 4 lenders on board to see eye to eye. So it is certainly not easy, and it's a tall order, but luckily we have good relationships. People want to do business with us, and so that's worked out well. I do see equity partners turning into lenders. So it's kind of interesting to see where they all show up. So life financing, debt financing for construction has become big. So the life insurance companies are now lending, or there's a space for them to lend now, whereas the banks, kind of were the low cost provider that we used before. So we've had to get creative, is bottom line.
And on some of your, sorry, go ahead, Bill.
I was going to say, I know you are, back at some partner meetings right now, and you're talking with some of the other partners in the company. Let's touch on 2023, and without giving away all your company secrets, what is the Panattoni strategy in a market like we're in for this upcoming year?
Well, I've kind of probably alluded to it a little bit, but one, we got to hustle. 2, we got to do the right deals in the right markets. Demand is very, very strong. We're seeing that across the board. And we're having weekly calls, and we're obviously at a big meeting right now, and the demand is strong nationwide. So that feels really good for our product, our classic new product. Demand is strong. So for 2023, it's more of the same. It's being more selective. We joke, or there's kind of a saying, there's a tremendous opportunity to make a huge mistake. So don't make one.
Well said.
So, are we going to go to a tertiary market, pay market price, and go spec with a building? We're not doing that type of pioneering move anymore. So there's a little bit of a pullback. That pullback's going to then, get eaten up, which is going to, increase demand, and shorten or diminish supply. So we're all talking about, how supply is absolutely being strangled out right now. So some people want to sit on the sidelines and see what happens. Others are saying, you know what, supply is dried up. We have access to projects. Let's get them built. And so we're trying to build them and try to meet that, what we believe is a shortage. Vacancy is likely going to go up a little bit. In some markets, it's going to go up maybe a lot. So we got to be smart about that.
Yeah. Not in the Puget Sound. It's going down. Yeah. The 3.5% trending downwards.
Well, it's funny you say that, because that is exactly it. It's trending downwards, and Portland's 2.3% trending downwards. So it's probably more likely in the next 12 to 24, 36 months going to go up someday. But we're still building a 5% vacant market. We're still going to build in sub 7 sub 7 vacant market. So we got some room to move. Now that the trick is to not be so bullish that we go past 7%. So
Yep.
I'm curious on land, because obviously that's what you need to develop. What you think we are percentage wise off of peak? Because it's hard to tell with so limited amount of transactions out there.
It really is, and the stuff we're closing on now, we almost got into. The entitlement process has taken so long for all of us that a lot of this stuff is not even the height of the market. The stuff that we're actually closing on and building on, all of our competitors, you see going vertical or not, stuff they tied up 6 months ago. So with that said, I would say we are falling back to 2021 pricing pretty quickly. If we're already there, actually. And it depends on what marketing you're in. Tertiary markets, which I'm calling north of Everett, south of Olympia, Lacey type of area, I get significant pullback, up to 50%, most likely. Tighter end, 20%. High water mark in Kent was almost $80 a foot. I feel like mid 50s to 60s is kind of where that market is right now.
Do you see some of the people that made investments in what you're calling the tertiary markets, especially south of, say Olympia? Do you see them going spec over this year?
Hey, they are saying they're going spec, and they're acting like great developers by doing it. But I think there's a flight for pricing. So we got to go find big sites, big square footages at a low cost for these tenants. And I do see that demand heading south and north. And so that is good. That's going to stabilize those markets a little bit, or at least, there'll be something to talk about down there. But going spec down in some of these markets is probably not a play we would do.
Sure.
So if you have to get into the Seattle market, Pacific Northwest, and you want to make a splash, then do that and underwrite 24 months of carry. But I do think, for us, we've got some great projects close in, so we wouldn't be doing it.
You mentioned earlier, and I just want to touch on it again, the flight to quality. And, I think a great example of that, Travis, is the sale you guys just recently completed in December in Kent, which is one of the best sales across the country in that time period at 260 million or whatever it was, right around the 4 cap, give or take, right? In today's environment, that was unbelievable, but that was generational type product that you build in the 50-yard line of one of the best markets in the country. And that shows there's still capital and demand for product like that.
Yeah. Fourth quarter has been great for the Pacific Northwest with cap rates. And thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, we're very lucky and very happy to have sold our deal with Link Blackstone. And it was a great sale transaction at PRI. So that was wonderful. And then LaSalle buying Renton Logistics, at a 4 cap essentially, low price per square foot. Then you got the FedEx deal up north in Everett, low 4 caps, 4.3 some cap. And then our sale to LaSalle down in Lacey at a 4.4 cap. Those are, 4 great transactions to institutional buyers, all low 4 caps, which the reason I'm telling everyone this is Seattle, Pacific Northwest is low 4 caps. Come on, bring your money and get those 5 caps out of here.
That's right.
Yeah, we really haven't. I mean, everybody wants to say it's a 5 cap market, but to your point, it's even at these 4 to 4.4, as you say, that's 100 to 140 bips discount from where we were at, right? And we talk about it, and let's touch base on the capital markets. Was so much money sidelined, saying, "Hey, we're going to be patient," and for a couple of quarters. I feel like maybe that discount isn't going to be there, because if everybody or 90% of the money is waiting for it, eventually they got to come back and place money. The money can't sit there and not be placed earning nothing. It's got to come back into the market. What's your opinion on that?
No, it exactly does, and it's the tale of the two coasts, and then the center of the United States. The two coasts are definitely where people are trying to put their money. Pacific Northwest is a great spot to do it. There's a limited transactions, and it is Yeah, absolutely. That money has to get placed out there somehow. So that's why you're hearing them, offer up debt. They're doing the loan to own program in a way. They're just trying to get their money placed, third or fourth quarter. I could see us, the herd mentality, let's all remember how all of us think and them. Frederickson's where we're going. So everyone goes to Frederickson. So it's like a herd. Pick it
That's
open.
right.
His SeaTac airport's going to be full of suitcases of money coming in, trying to buy some stuff and making some low offers, we believe, or we hope, and keep us low.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You're right. I mean, you guys did the first deal to kind of get back into Frederickson with Best Buy just a few years ago. Everybody thought, my gosh, what is happening? And what was the rate on that? Bill, you always know the rates off the top.
I think it was like a 40-cent show rate,
I
give or
think you're
take like a
right.
penny,
You're right.
so you're literally double that today, probably a
More
little
than
bit more.
double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was pioneering, but yeah.
On $8.50 dirt. I was just actually talking to Carl and Panattoni, and we mentioned how we fumbled and didn't tie up all of Sierra Pacific's land, and LPC swooped in and paid 16 cents more a square foot for it or something. And no way they should do that. Well, geez, what in hindsight,
Well, it's funny you say that, because Bill and I were running around after looking at the Best Buy studies at the time, the logistics, transportation, labor pool, going, gosh, Frederickson's a no-brainer. And we ran around with $5 and $6 dirt, including all of that, to every client that would listen, but they all shut the door on us, right?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for doing the Best Buy deal and bringing it to us. That really solidified that market, and we'll get back up. Then Ashley Furniture went, Ace went, Amazon's out there, two positions, and so
yeah, it's a great market. Well, you guys have been just doing awesome. You guys are a great client of ours, and appreciate the business that we get to do with you guys. And really, Travis, appreciate you jumping on here and sharing some development knowledge with everybody, because no one's more active than you guys. So thank you for coming on, and nicely done.
Thank you very much. And without you and the brokers, and especially you and Matt's help, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you. And let's keep the Pacific Northwest rolling. Thank you.
Let's do it.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.
Bye-bye.